Hi, everybody. It is episode 606 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. I'm Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
You always sound so uncertain, and I think it's always funny.
Because, I may be here, but, mentally, I don't really know if I'm here. I'm just...
It's not even uncertainty. It's more just like you always sound surprised that you have to talk.
Look, you've known me since we were teenagers. How often was I actually allowed to talk without being made fun of?
That's true. That is true. Even now.
That anxiety has stuck all the way into my late 30s. Still, it's a shock people want to hear me sometimes.
Want to or have to?
Yes.
Well, I got no other cheeky anecdotes. Let's just fucking go.
Yeah.
What's on the agenda?
It's a week of crazy gamer news, to be honest, but let's just get into the stuff. The conversation for us this week, though, I was on a small little game show known as GamersFued. Then we all should have watched Robocop, the original, what was it, 1980 something, right? And 87. Then 87. And then Cobb, you read the Tear Down Heaven series?
Tear Down Heaven.
I knew I was going to fuck that up.
You know what? English is stupid. You're forgiven.
Well, so here's what it is. I did not read the full line before I started saying it. And if I read series first, I would have known that it was Tear Down and not Tear Down.
But I mean, even Tear Down Heaven doesn't quite.
Well, it's here's the thing. I saw the S, and so maybe Tear Down Heaven Stairs is
okay.
In my brain, Tear made sense without knowing that it was a series. If I knew it was a series, then I probably would have been like, oh, Tear Down Heaven series. Okay. And then lastly, I saw Project Hail Mary, and Chris, you have read the book. I can't recall if we've discussed it on the. I
don't know that we ever did.
Probably not, but it's a great movie. So we'll talk about that. But I don't know. Did you guys hear that? Friggin' Epic just laid off 1,000 people.
Yeah,
1,000 plus. Yeah, Fortnite's not doing good.
Fortnite's not making them the money anymore.
No. It's I don't know what it is. Maybe Marvel Rivals is doing it, or maybe just they have to spend too much money on
Roblox. It's Roblox.
No, it's not Roblox. I had one person saying that it's what were they saying? And it's probably not legit, probably nowhere near legit, but it was memorable to me, which is why I was bringing it up. The lawsuits against Apple and Google have been draining them to be able to actually, because they're still in that lawsuit, I guess, or whatever. I don't really know, but Epic laid off 1,000 people is wild to me. Over 1,000 people. And then one thing I've been seeing a lot on the internet for me, before we get into GamersFued, my favorite game, 7 Days to Die. I've talked about it. I've played a lot of Let's Plays about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was originally a Kickstarter from 2012, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
At the time, it was the largest video game Kickstarter at the time. It made over $1 million or something. It was the first thing to ever make up that much money. It was a big Kickstarter. So that game has been being developed basically since 2012. So 14 years now. The team, the developer, the Fun Pimps, were just bought out by Behavior. Behavior makes Dead by Daylight. They were just bought out, and they made the announcement yesterday. The Fun Pimps made the announcement that it's a partnership. It's no, this is straight up, no, you're a development team that has been working on one game for 12 years off of a Kickstarter. You don't have money anymore. You need somebody to fund you. They bought you out. Straight up, 100%. And I just find it funny that, I've been very negative on 7 Days to Die over the past year or so with the updates that they've been incorporating. The game went 1.0, and they're still making drastic updates to the game even after going 1.0. So, they're leading into, in the next couple of months, 3.0. And it went 1.0 2 years ago. Yeah.
The Are they
2.0
just
was
skipping
no,
2.0? Are they underpants gnoming 2.0? They're
no,
going
no. So
1.0.
they're currently
Profit.
they're currently in 2.5.
Oh, okay.
But like they went 1.0 maybe 2 years ago, and they're now leading into about 3.0 soon, with still not providing, like they were supposed to add bandits to the game, and 3.0 they're now pushed back to 4.0. This game is gold and has been officially released and is no longer early access, and they still don't have everything in the game they want in the game. Like they also scrapped a multiplayer game that they were making in that same world called 7 Days Blood Moons, where it was a asymmetric multiplayer 4v1 where the one person controlled the horde of zombies while the rest of them defended their base. They scrapped that game entirely because they don't have fucking money, because they're trying to make a living off of one game that barely has microtransactions. They didn't start adding microtransactions till last year. And obviously, they're all cosmetic because it makes sense. But no one wants to pay money for this shit, especially when the game is highly modded and you can just mod cosmetics. So, well, yeah,
it's cool. It's always cool when like games do just like kind of, well, especially those kind of games, like your PC games, where like they just kind of keep putting out content and it's free content, right? Like they're not charging for expansions and all. It's like Stardew. Like you just keep adding shit.
Yeah, they're not charging for it, which is fine, but like to me it's more of a pain in the ass that like the official game was supposed to have bandits and a story mode in it, and they went 1.0, which is their gold release, which they really only did it to get it on Xbox, to get it on console. They went 1.0 2 years ago and we don't have a story. It's 14 years in the making, and this game still is not the completed project that they said they were going to have on Kickstarter, and now they had to be bought out to be able to finish it. That's what I think. It's also funny because like City Skylines 2, the original developer of City Skylines 2 was Colossal Order, or no, Colossal Order is a publisher, I believe. Hold on, let me look it up. But whoever the original developer was, midway through the life cycle of City Skylines 2, the publisher was like, no, you're not the developer anymore. You're doing very poorly, and gave it to a different developer who's now doing better for it. Okay, yeah, so Paradox is the publisher. Colossal Order was the original developer. Colossal Order is no longer working on City Skylines 2 per Paradox, and has been given to now Iceflake Studios, who is now doing more work and making it better than Colossal has in the 3 years that in 2.5 years the game has been out, and they've only had control of it for like 3 months. It's funny to see a game change studios after official release.
Yeah, I feel like I can't think of a time where like Call of Duty does that, but it's like different games, right? Like I can't think of any other game that like passed over development.
Yeah, no, Call of Duty, it's like a new game each year because it's a different development team each year. This was just straight up Colossal Order just wasn't doing good with the whole management of the game, so their publisher was like, "You guys are done. Let's send it over to somebody else who's better at doing these sim games, these big brand sim games." Even though Colossal Order was who did City Skylines 1, they've just been not really delivering.
Which hopefully it's one of those situations where like the studio can like reorganize and find something that they're actually like good at, let's say, and it's not just the studio closes and another few hundred people lose their jobs.
Yeah, people for the 7 Days to Die, people are worried that like, what is Behavior going to do? It's like, well, Behavior is actually really good at getting licensed deals, because look at Dead by Daylight and all the licensing that they have in that. Maybe we can get like a FNAF crossover or something in 7 Days to Die, and get like there's people that are worried that like, oh, they're going to change the games. Like, no, the Fun Pimps, although they've been pretty bad the past few years, kind of know what they're doing, and they probably just made a deal of like, hey, we need funding, and this game is still selling even 14 years after it's been like started. So like, we just need a little bit more money and some help, because we don't know what we're doing, because we all like made this up on our own. And so that's what it is. But yeah, it's pretty wild, and the gaming spheres that I'm in, like seeing Epic lay off people and then Fun Pips get sold or bought out, is just like that's crazy.
I will say, like, I'm not totally surprised about Epic layoffs. Like, they're one of those companies that, like, it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, but they're just one of those companies that, like, I just kind of expected at some point they were going to have massive layoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely gonna happen again. Definitely gonna happen
Yeah.
again. But anyway, let's get on to the main show.
Well, Rich, I don't know what GamerFued is, so tell us about GamerFued.
All right, so GamersFued is a. I thought it was a little bit bigger. They had about 5,000 followers over on Twitch. But it is an online creator-based game show that they do different. So their name is GamersFeud, like Family Feud, and their main show is like a Family Feud style, 2 teams answering survey questions. However, I actually, like, after being in the Future Game Show's Discord, I had somebody reach out to the Discord and be like, hey, we're trying to fill space for a game show this weekend. You want to join? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll join. And this one was a Wheel of Fortune style game about pop culture. And it was like quotes from different movies and stuff like that is what it was. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll enter. And so I went in, and on Saturday at around 3 o'clock Eastern time, we went live, and we did a Wheel of Fortune style game show. It was duos. I was teamed up with somebody I've never met before, and there was a bunch of other small creators and streamers there, and it was a good time. It was really fun. You can find them across YouTube, Twitch, everywhere that can live stream and post VODs and stuff. You can find them all over the place. And I think they said that they just celebrated 5 years, which was really cool to be like. It was the day that stream went up. The day that stream happened, or the day after, was their 5-year anniversary. And I was like, that's really cool to like be a first time contestant in a thing. Now, like, there's no winnings or anything. It's just all for fun and bragging rights.
That's
But
still cool,
it was really cool. I ended up winning. My team won. And we actually won so well that we had so many points that we made their top 15. We're 11th place in their highest scoring game shows. We scored 83,950 points. And it was the round that won it for us was the caption, or the theme was I think it was like a dumb future or something like that was the theme. And it was Idiocracy was the movie, and the line was, Brondo, it's got what plants crave. And so it comes to me, and I start guessing letters, and I figure it out. And they're like, if you know it, it's better to guess the letters than it is to guess the actual thing in this game, in this version of the game.
Isn't that also in real Wheel of Fortune? There's that toss up where, like, even if you know it right away, you don't want to guess right away because you're throwing away potential money. But there's also a chance that you land on bankrupt or lose a turn or whatever, and you're fucked anyway.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Because because like you only accrue the points if you solve it or something. I don't really fully remember how Wheel of Fortune works. Drew, you're more of a game show guy than me, so I feel like you know more than I do.
What you guys have said is exactly correct.
Yeah, so
you only bank your points if you are the team that or player that solves the round. And yeah, it is that game of, okay, I know it either immediately or after like one letter, but it's like, shit, do I go for the more money or risk it, or do I just go, whatever, I have this little bit.
And so I didn't realize or think about it until like after he said it when we were done. Like, you lose points by buying vowels. Like, if you know it and all you have left are vowels, just guess it, because otherwise you're going to lose the points. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. So yeah, like I was able to get all of it, and like we spun very well. And so that like got us. We were literally 0 points that round. Going into that round, it was the fourth or fifth round. No, I think it was like that wasn't the round that we started getting points, but like we got to the fourth round with 0 points because our first round we got like 3 letters and then rolled bankruptcy, and we were just out. So, and then every round after that, we just couldn't get a score going, couldn't get a roll going. And then finally we got like to the 4th round, got some points. And then we got to like the 5th or 6th round. And from that point on, we were just getting some good guesses. And I was able to get pretty much all of Brondo, It's Got What Plants Crave. And then my teammate was able to get like the quick guess one where like it slowly adds the letters. And it was "No, I am your father" was the line. It was from obviously from Star Wars.
Yeah, the real line.
And then the last round, round 9, everyone rolled to lose a turn in bankruptcy. So we all got eliminated from. We weren't even able to solve the final round. And then the game show does a little bit of like straight up Mario Party shenanigans. So it's like it tries to level the playing field with like the person who had the most correct answers or this or that, and like the team that had the least amount of points, and the team that has the most. I think it was like the team that had the most correct answers that's not the first place team gets added points and things like that, just to bring a little bit of like fun and randomness. Because if there's somebody who's just wrecking the whole time, maybe they may still lose, but honestly they shouldn't, kind of thing. And we ended up getting 2 of the point increase categories. Like I got the most letters corrected at like 40 letters or something like that. And I think it was at one point I guessed like, and I think it was from the Brondo one, and I guessed O, and it gave me like half the board or something like that. And it was really cool. And like the VOD is up over on YouTube. And it's still up on Twitch right now because it'll be up for about a month and a half or so. It was just a really fun experience, and I told them anytime I'm free. Like this week they're doing Family Feud style, but it is Kick streamers versus Twitch streamers is what they're working on doing. I would totally participate if I weren't going to the rallies on Saturday. So it's like the show's at 3, rallies end at 4. I'm not gonna make it. So yeah. I'm not gonna be playing this week. But like any week that I'm free on a Saturday, if I'm not doing anything, I'll be like, hey, if you guys need someone to cover for you. There was one person in there that kind of part of the reason why at times we would not be able to guess. Like there was one contestant who would like be very vocal about whether or not they know it or figured it out, and would at times like react when it's not their turn, and they would kind of take over the airwaves, and I wouldn't be able to think while they're talking. And like the last 5 rounds, they cut it from 10 seconds a guess to 5 seconds a guess, and they'd be talking for the 5 seconds, and I would not be able to think while they're talking, and so then we would miss out. So I was a little frustrated at that, but it was all in good fun, and yeah, it was a really good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you end up like getting into it?
So like I said, from the Future Game Show Discord, somebody who was trying to find players for GamersFued posted on there and was like, hey, I'm trying to get a cast for this week's show. Would you want to join? And I'm like, hey, feel free to DM me. And they were like, all right. And they DM'd me, and I got in, and I set myself up, and like within seconds they were like, all right, you're good, you're in. I'm like, really? Like
there was no like making sure you weren't like a fucking psycho or anything.
No, they were like, all right, you
like was there like a pre-quiz or make sure that like you could do it?
I was like the 3rd person to set up and say that they'd be down to play, and so since I set up properly, they're like, all right, you're in, you're seat number 3. I'm like, okay, cool, great. Yeah, just being at the right place, right time kind of thing is really all it was.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So if you guys, GamersFued, all one word, on Twitch and YouTube, and I think they're on Kick and everywhere else. They stream everywhere. Check them out.
Throw the link to the video on YouTube or whatever into one of our chats, and I'll throw it in the show notes. Yeah.
I'll find it and send it to you.
Nice. Shall we move along to Robocop?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the 1987 classic action movie?
Classic. Like, I've always loved RoboCop. It is something that I've grown up loving. I've watched a million times. My favorite thing ever, and this is jumping way ahead into the movie, is killing the final boss with stairs is always my favorite thing. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just an incredible, in my opinion, an incredible movie. I love it. Like, some of it is very dated.
Oh, I mean, a lot of the special effects did not age well at all.
Especially the Ed 209. Anytime the Ed 209 had to move, it was like, oh god, what happened?
And it was very jarring when it switched from like the practical like cardboard and paper mache model that they had to the thing that was moving.
Yeah,
but it was still.
I wasn't even talking the FX. I was talking like acting and story and stuff. Like some the potential levels of racism in this kind of stuff. But like outside of that, like it's a classic. But yeah, the visuals, like, they're not bad. They're not bad visuals.
Except for like the Ed 209, like yeah, everything else looked pretty good. And even the Ed 209 at times, it wasn't bad. It was just fee.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, it's not bad. It's just obvious.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you guys noticed it. So at the very end, when they're in like the boardroom and the CEO or whatever goes, "You're fired," and Robocop then shoots the bad guy and he falls out of the window. It's like claymation again, and his arms are super long.
No, I didn't catch that.
Like his arms as he's falling are like abnormally long and look almost like Gumby. It was very like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. No. But it's great seeing Red Foreman be Red Foreman, but angrier.
Was he angrier?
He was not angry. He was more menacing.
Actually, he might not have been angrier. He might have actually been quite happy. He was eviler. But yeah, he might have been angry. Yeah, very menacing.
More menacing is definitely.
Yeah.
And also the other reoccurring like lower level scumbag one, the one that gets killed by the toxic waste at the end.
Oh god, the toxic waste, man.
I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but that guy goes on to be the like chief surgeon in ER for like 15 years.
Oh wow, no.
I watched a little bit of it.
He's kind of a dick through most of it. But he's got like one of like his story sucks in that show because like he at one point they have like it's a Chicago City hospital and they have like the helipad on the roof. And he's going up there. I forget if he's going up there because he has to go out with them, or if he's up there to try and like get somebody off of it.
I think he was trying to extract somebody off of it because I remember this scene because I was going to ask about it.
Yeah, he loses his hand to a helicopter blade, and like they do like the whole arc of like depression. Then he gets like a prosthetic and like returns to the hospital and everything. And then they kill him off like later on in the series when a helicopter crashes outside the hospital. And he just happens to be standing right where it crashes.
And it was even like the best part about that was it was like nonchalant too. It just happens, and I don't think they ever acknowledged it. If I remember correctly, it just kind of happens, and like they don't ever talk about him again.
So They acknowledge it a little bit later, but it's one of those things where no one realizes it happened right away because like a fucking helicopter crashed. Like a lot of people were injured, and it was very much one of those like drama moments of the show where like a bunch of things had been going wrong that episode, and then like that happened on top of it.
Yeah, and like it also felt like when that happened, it felt like they were just trying to get rid of him. Like, they just didn't want him on the show anymore. Or maybe he didn't want to be on the show anymore. But I do remember that. I remember because I jumped in ER when we were growing up. Was like my mom's show. She loved it. But I never really cared for it or watched it. And I don't think my parents let us watch it for a while. And then as we got older and like we started getting interested in shows like Lost and stuff, I would stay up and I would watch ER with my mom. And it was like, this show's great. Like, doctor shows are great, man.
Yeah, I always liked that one. Like, I definitely watched it when I was younger than I should have, but it's also one of those shows that was on like TNT or USA or something like that, like in those little mini marathons, like every morning.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you would watch like 2 or 3 of them back to back, like
Yeah.
during the summer.
Yeah. Also, Michael Crichton made it.
True.
I guess he wrote a book or something.
Actually, I don't think this
Because
was based on a book. I think this was actually like he just
yeah,
developed the TV series.
yeah. I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that the Pit was supposed to be a successor to ER. It was supposed to be ER's many years later because it's the same actor who was a doctor in ER.
Yeah,
They
no,
were originally planning to it just be like him in the like many years down the line. But they couldn't get the rights from Crichton's estate to do that. So they just made the Pit. And then Crichton's estate tried to sue them because they made a successful show and it was based off of it's like, well, no, this is obviously different characters and different scenarios. So sucks to be you.
Yeah, I actually remember when that was happening, like
Yeah.
the lawsuit and all.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch the Pit. I do want to watch the Pit.
I've heard very good things. But RoboCop, going back to that, I also forgot just how fucking violent it is. Like nothing looks good as far as like the violence goes anymore. Like when Ed 209 is first introduced and he just decimates that guy with like a fucking Gatling gun, and you just watch like the guy basically explode. Or
Real quick on that death scene, I like after the dude. There's no way he survives like the 150.
Call an ambulance.
Yeah, like call a medic. Like, no, he's dead.
No.
Why are you bothering?
The people also just have a side conversation while the guy's just laying there dead.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, yeah. It's. What are you gonna say to the cops with this too? Yeah, my robot.
They own the cops.
Oh, true, they do own the cops. Yeah, that's the honestly the craziest part is privatized police force. In this movie, like everything else is honestly believable, but the privatized police force is the most obnoxious, ridiculous thing that's potentially happening in our country, which is ridiculous.
True. Hey, man, it is. The whole theme was movies that were set in the future that are actually no longer our future.
Yeah, but, it just this one happens to be our present.
But and the bit when they kill Alex Murphy and like literally they blow his hand off with a shotgun and then they blow his entire arm off with a shotgun. I'm like, wow, just wow.
It gets brutal and gruesome. This one at least. The second and third one I don't think are as bad as this one was.
One for sure is a lot more campy, and that also like Peter Weller didn't return for that one either.
The third one is the one. Yeah, the third one was the one with the ninja assassin or the assassin robot. And it's like that is definitely like you see RoboCop feeling like he's obsolete at that time kind of shit. Like the robots are getting way too advanced. I always forget which one it is that has the melting guy, if it's the first one or the second one. Because like that image,
like the guy at the end who melts from the
toxic waste. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was this one or that one until I watched it, and I'm just like, that image of him melting is seared in my brain. Like that is something that you will always remember when you watch this as a young child. But it is wild. The prosthetics and everything that they did for that is just wild.
Yeah, that was one of the few things that actually looked really good as far as like special effects and like prosthetics and stuff go. Because even like when they were like blowing people up and like shooting off limbs and all, like even that looked a little iffy.
Yeah, I still always love RoboCop shooting the guy's dick through the woman's dress. It's just always a great scene. Always a great scene. It made me want to rewatch RoboCop 2 and 3 after watching this.
You know what? Like, part of me does too, because like I've seen all of them, but it's like I've seen RoboCop 1 the most. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to how you were saying like ER would be on the marathons on like TNT or TBS or whatever. Like RoboCop was that for me. Like anytime RoboCop was on TV, I'd be watching it, and it would usually be a marathon of like all 3, and I would always be watching them. And it's like I know RoboCop 1 the most. I know RoboCop 2 is more about another giant killer robot. This time, stairs aren't a threat, but like I do know that it's more about a big like military robot, and then the third one is just incredibly campy, and Robocop has a jetpack in the third one, I think.
I think you're right.
It's
But
wild.
by that point, they'd also like. I mean, by the second one, I want to say it like they had already launched the children's cartoon. Like that's the wild thing. I was talking to Erica about this while we were watching it. Back in like the 80s and early 90s, the amount of times they took like children's or like these like ultra violent action movies, RoboCop, Rambo, even like the Bond films with James Bond Jr. and like turn them into like children's Saturday morning cartoon series. It's like what I think there was even an animated Freddy Krueger at one point.
Probably.
I know there was definitely a Nightmare on Elm Street series and a Friday the 13th series. But I think there may have been like a cartoon version of one of them too. And like, yeah, it's wild. But like stuff like that happens, and then it's like, okay, well now kids watch this movie about the robot cop. We have to make the robot cop a little less violent and a little more campy.
Toxic Crusaders.
Toys.
Toxic Crusaders is an American animated series loosely based on the Toxic Avenger.
Right. Yeah, there's that too.
Like, they would make cartoons out of anything back then.
Yeah, it sells toys. It's the same reason things like He-Man, Transformers, like kids make money. Not or kids make other like companies money, I should say.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes had an animated series. That's a horror film, or supposed to be horror film.
But yeah. Anything else about RoboCop though?
No, I mean no. I was when watching this, I was thinking about the remake as well, and how like I do like how in the remake at least they do handle his family a little bit differently. Like his family didn't run away, and like he actually gets to like sort of recreate a family kinship with his wife and son. And they're like more involved, because like this one was really just mostly a story of revenge, whereas that one was like, oh, he eventually learns about his wife and kids, and it's like a wife and kid and has to rescue them. So like this one was just straight up, oh, he realizes he's a robot and was killed and now wants revenge, and it's just like I don't know. It made me think about the remake.
Yeah, I really hated the remake, but also to be fair, like they didn't run away really. Like they legit thought he was dead. Like why would they stay in a shitty city like Detroit at that point? And no, trust me, I get it. If you can get out of Detroit in that time frame, in that alternate universe, I would do it. Yeah, like especially like the bad guys in that movie are literally planning to destroy the city so they can build a new one that only rich people can afford.
Yeah.
But I guess what are we doing next?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a good question.
Any ideas?
Drew, come up with a category.
No.
I mean, I can go through my list of ideas. And
you had a couple.
Anytime I come up with and these are all old now too, so I don't even know. Recently added one car/racing movies. I still let's see. Single take movies or one shot movies. I don't know how many there are.
I feel like there's not that many. And are there any movies that are actually an entire movie like that, or you just mean movies that have them?
Well, so Birdman is essentially a single take. Like there are no cuts. Even though there's the cuts they have are hidden cuts. I think there was
I see what you mean.
There was a movie, a war movie that was also like that.
So Dunkirk, I want to say
Dunkirk,
it is. It's not the whole movie. It's one major sequence. It's like it's a long sequence, but I do not believe it's the whole movie.
Yeah. Let's see. We can do. We recently did remakes, didn't we?
I don't remember honestly.
Because we've just been watching a lot of remakes. Really, they've been fitting into categories or not really remakes, but because I have one category that's just remakes. We can do biopics. We can do parodies. It's funny. I have biopic, Walk the Line. And then parody, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Literally top and bottom of each other.
You were thinking about one of them at the time, and you came up with both of the things.
Yeah. I like this one. Team up movies. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Ocean's 11, shit like that.
Like getting a crew together sort of stuff?
Yeah. It could be heist movies. Team of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not a heist movie, but like putting together a team together to fucking Power Rangers could be a team up movie, I guess.
I mean, in a way, because like they're not a group at the beginning.
Yeah. I wouldn't include like Avengers and any superheroes and stuff. Like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is probably the closest I would get to allowing that.
I would agree with that because like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is like the it's like the proto superhero movie.
Yeah. Court and trial movies.
I don't know. I'd be down for like the team up movies, getting a group together movies, however you want to call it. Because even like the A-Team is kind of that, like the
A-Team
2010 ones with Chris Evans and Liam
Neeson. Yeah.
And I'm looking. It looks like some of these are actually on Fubo, whatever it's called. I don't know what that is. It says it has a 7-day free trial. That was just the A-Team that I saw was on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a decent amount of those.
Yeah. I looked up team up movies, and IMDb is like team up action movies like Captain America: Civil War, Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, then like Fast 5.
Oh yeah, the Fast and Furious movies, and frankly, some of the later Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, it's Seventh Samurai, which I don't really know much about.
The Italian Job,
X-Men. Big Hero 6, the Italian Job. I mean, we could just do heist movies as well if we're going to go in like Tombstone, Magnificent Seven. I mean, I guess it's Serenity's on here. I don't really know if that counts.
No, because like they're already a team.
Yeah,
like, they're already together. That's not getting a group together.
If we're gonna do this, I kind of feel like I know which one I want to do.
Okay, well,
if it's available,
go ahead and say it, and that's what our next pick will be.
The Expendables, and we'll do the first one.
Okay, I feel like if the first one's not available, I'm sure some of them are.
It should be. I'm checking Netflix now. Yep, it's on Netflix.
Cool. All right. So in 2 weeks we will do the Expendables.
Yeah. I mean, which one was he in?
Chuck Norris is in like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Chuck Norris. Expendables 2. But I guess the team's already formed in the Expendables 2.
Yeah. Oh, there's also I mean, just throwing it out there, like I think the Expendables is a good one, but just in case we need others to think about, the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie.
G.I. Joe Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Ghostbusters. I just had another one in my head, and now I forget what it was. Fuck.
Oh, this is actually, I would never have thought to put this in here, but it works. Armageddon.
Yeah, actually.
Reservoir Dogs.
Actually, yeah, kind of, right?
I mean, that's literally the whole thing, is he brings together
they aren't a group yet, that's right.
No, like,
it's been a very long time since I've seen that movie.
Like, it you know, because it does the, like, kind of start in the, not quite the middle, then go back. And then, like, you start with them all at the diner, and it makes it seem like they've all known each other, but they haven't really.
Right. Also, I already forgot, what movie did I just say before Armageddon?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, just right out my fucking brain. Jesus.
I had mentioned Ghostbusters, and then you had said something.
Yeah, I'll listen to the playback later.
Yeah. I don't know. Now I'm trying to figure out, do we want to do Armageddon or do we want to do Expendables?
I say Expendables. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be more fun than watching Armageddon again.
Expendables is more tongue-in-cheek enough to where, like, yeah, it's stupid, but it's also enjoyable. I agree. So let's do Expendables. Like, Armageddon is a great movie, but I kind of have to be in a mood to want to watch that, and it's 2.5 hours long. Holy crap, I forgot that was that long. Whereas Expendables is an hour and 43, so.
Yeah, so we'll do Expendables in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Even though I'm not even suggesting either of the two that I had on my list, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or, what was the other one? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or Ocean's 11, which League is not on streaming.
Yeah, it's all rentals.
At all. And Ocean's 11 also not on streaming anyway, so it's fine.
Man, I just found one that would be good for like fits the description, but it is fucking way too long.
What is
What
it?
movie and how long?
Seven Samurai. It's 3.5 hours.
Oh fuck.
So
no.
I've always wanted to watch that, to be honest.
Again, I mean, it has 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. It is apparently a phenomenal movie.
I would be willing to
fit
do
the
it.
description. I'm not. I don't know that I would have 3.5 hours at any point in the next 2 weeks. Like
That, I mean, that is actually. We could always like
I will
slip that in later.
I will say this: if we want to do that, we can know that as the next book club prompt. That gives you 4 weeks to fit in 3.5 hours of movie watch. Or we can do that as the last prompt for this, which gives you 6 weeks to fit it in, which is 30 minutes a week.
But I am not like trying to watch a movie in a 30-minute installments like that. That's
I know, but like you could fit in like an hour or 45 minutes to an hour a week or whatever. Like if that's something you want to do, like I would 100% be down to watch Seven Samurai.
Problem is the other problem with it is the only place I think it's free. Although actually it says it's free on Plex.
Yeah, it's Tubi and Plex is what I'm seeing on Google.
Well, the Tubi, I'm like, there's going to be a shitload of ads. It's going to be 5.5 hours.
Is it on HBO?
I believe it's on HBO.
Yeah, it looks like it's on HBO Max.
Because I just went to Prime to check it, and it says it's subscribed to HBO. Okay, hold on.
All right. Is it one of those? Do you have to have a certain tier of it?
I mean, it's on HBO. I can. I have not messed with my HBO in forever.
Going to be an interesting potential option because, like I said, it's fucking long as shit.
That's the thing. If you want to, I have no problem saying that can be the prompt for the third book club of this. Feel free to watch it at your leisure over the next 6 weeks
from now.
You have 6 weeks to watch a 3.5 hour movie. Like, at your leisure, split it up however you want. I would 100% be down for this. And that way you have 6 weeks. We do Expendables this week. We do whatever Cobb picks next week. And then Seven Samurai the time after that.
Real quick. I know. I just know with like, especially 2 weeks from now, I have 3 concerts in 3 days. I'm going to be dead.
That's the perfect time to watch a 3.5 hour movie, though.
Well,
this is
the perfect
too, though.
As of now, I have nothing the weekend. I guess what would be the 20? When would that? The 22nd, right? It would be for that episode, April 22nd.
Hold on.
Or no.
This is also something you guys are going to have to know. There's no dubbing.
I kind of assumed that.
It's subtitles only.
It's a 70-year-old Japanese movie.
I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah, it's from the 50s. Again, I have no problem with that. But yeah, so if we were to add this it would be for the 22nd. It would be for
May 6th.
May 6th, right?
Okay.
22nd, 6th. Yeah, it would be for the May 6th. May 6th, 5
That
6.
weekend would be fucking terrible time. That week's episode would be terrible timing for me because I'll be coming back from Toronto. Being in Toronto that weekend. Although maybe I could watch. Although I don't know what time I'm getting because we're driving.
I was gonna say if you're taking the plane, you could watch it on the plane.
It's not a 3.5 hour flight. The movie is longer than the flight from Toronto.
Look, with TSA lines, you could watch it in TSA line.
My phone would die.
With everything going on, the current TSA lines, you could watch it while in line at TSA. But just keep in mind, I'm willing to watch it no matter what, even if we want to push it back and extend this category an extra 2 weeks and pick something else in between. I'm fine with it.
I'm good with that.
I've always wanted to watch that. It's that, and like I brought up RRR like a year or so ago when that came out, and that's another 3+ hour movie that like I've heard incredible things about that I've always wanted to watch. It's a commitment. I understand. It is 3 hours is a commitment. And that is one that like none of us can watch while working because it's subtitled only. So that is definitely made, and I think RRR is it's Indian. It probably has dubbing, so it's you'd be able to watch the. I'm sure there's a dub version of it, but yeah. All right.
I mean,
So
I'll say right now I have nothing the weekend, April 17th, 18th, 19th. At most, I'm going to have like a game of Clock Tower in there. So if we wanted to do Seven Samurai for the second one in this
let's do it.
and we know it's there, and now so if it's like, okay, look, I know that weekend I'm watching this.
you got 4 weeks to watch a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah, you know what? Why not?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Hopefully, it doesn't leave on any streaming thing on April
1st. It's old enough, and if it's on HBO doesn't tend to recycle and remove stuff that often. I think we'll be good. But I'll say this right here, right now. If it leaves HBO before you get to watch it, I will rent it for you. I don't care. I will pay for your rental. I'll rent it on Amazon and give you guys my logins, and we can watch it all at the same time. I've always wanted to watch this movie. I'm honestly excited. But yeah, so 2 weeks from now, Expendables, and then 2 weeks from then, huh?
I said, and then 4 weeks,
and then 4 weeks or 2 weeks from then, Seven Samurai. Let's do it.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do it.
All right, and now we can move along to other things.
Cobb, this book series, Tear Down Heaven series. Is it a book series or is it a comic series?
No, it's books.
Okay.
Written words.
Written words, things that take me. I'm still only like 6 chapters into the book I started reading at the beginning of February.
I just finished a book yesterday.
Oh, show off. Okay. No, it's
didn't see how many books I finished this year.
Look, it's the thing is, like, I want to read it, but I got so into finishing Bleach that I was like, instead of reading it after stream or whatever, I was like, let me finish Bleach. Let me like get done Bleach, and then we'll reset with this. And I just haven't had time during the weekends to sit down and read.
Yeah, look, by the time that book comes out for everyone else in like October or whatever, you'll be on like chapter 12, and I'll catch up to you real quick.
Yeah, look, I'm a third of the way through the book. What chapter am I on? The Taste of Fallen Things is the name of the chapter. And it is, oh my god, it's not numbered, so you have to actually go to the chapter pages and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm on the 8th chapter. Page 114 of 380 something, or almost 400. So like I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm not too. I'm making progress. It's been hard with raccoon shit and just being tired and feeling sick a lot lately. It's just been hard to find time to want to read.
I get it. I'm not reading it as much as I had been because I'm trying to get through comics. So like I'm reading, but I'm reading comics, and then I'm also still playing Pocopia. But yeah. So Tear Down Heaven is a 5-book urban fantasy series by Rachel Aaron. And so it takes place in like a modern setting. It's based in the U.S. for the most part. But it's a world where magic exists, but like the everyday people know nothing about it. And there are demons all over the place that they exist. But to people, they just look like ordinary humans. For the most part, these demons are enslaved, and it's weird. I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. So like the way that it's framed is like the demons weren't necessarily like, they're not like hell demons the way that like you'd normally think of them. They were the creations of the gods that were created to basically eat the sins of humanity. So like all the demons are like named after like one of the sins, like sloth and pride and wraith and all that stuff. I think wraith is sin, right?
Wrath.
Yeah, wrath.
Okay.
So like none of them are like evil, but a human 5,000 years prior killed the gods, and Gilgamesh, like from like the I guess Indian mythology stuff.
I think so.
I want to say Gilgamesh.
Yeah, but so like Gilgamesh as just a regular man overthrew the gods, murdered all of them, took over heaven, and created hell and put all the demons in hell, and then enslaved them to basically do his bidding and do the bidding of people that he granted magic to. And only he could do it because the way that normal people gained magic was through the blood of the gods that he murdered, and was just basically like hoarding their blood for 5,000 years. So the series though follows a small group of demons that they're freed demons that kind of have to stay under the radar, but they basically do like side jobs for people. And the first side job they get is protection of a witch who is coming from the East Coast to Seattle to basically create like a new home for himself, because as a male witch, Gilgamesh wants him. And his family tried to protect him, but like he decided it wasn't worth kind of basically not being able to leave. So he decided to like strike out on his own and like take the fucking chance with it. And so the first book is very much kind of like small stakes. He's just trying to build he's essentially like a forest witch, so like his magic is all like plant based. So the whole goal is like he hired these demons to be bodyguards while he grew a new forest. And so that happens, but then like the sons of Gilgamesh come to try and get him. They fight one of them off. Like like it's stakes, but it's not like high stakes. And then from there, everything ramps up because they basically realize the only way for any of them to kind of survive is for them to just tear down heaven and overthrow Gilgamesh and put things back the way that they used to be. And in the first book, you find out that like the leader of the group of demons is actually the former queen of Wrath. So like every group of demons had a queen that essentially reported directly to their god. And the queens had the ability to like command their demon. So like the Queen of Pride could command any of her demons and they had to obey. Same thing with the Queen of Wrath. Only all of her demons got sent to purgatory because she escaped. So they couldn't, Gilgamesh couldn't enslave them. So it's, her trying to free her demons while also working with like a group that she's kind of gotten together over the centuries. And we also find out that she was kind of given immortality to an extent, where she has died hundreds of times over the last several thousand years and is reborn every time, but like literally reborn as a baby, and then has to grow back up, has to be taught how to fight and like kind of who she is again. So like every iteration of her is a little different and every iteration is weaker. So the series is kind of dealing with her final iteration where she gets like one last chance to go try and do the thing that like she's been trying to do for thousands of years. And it ends up, there are like a lot of like twists and turns throughout the books that some of them are kind of like telegraphed. Like you kind of expect a few things to happen that do happen. But a lot of them, like I was genuinely surprised that they did the things they did. And it was one of those books where it was kind of like the found family, like the little group coming together. Like it was just really well done. Kind of like our next book club, getting the band together. And so like, there was just like a lot of good, like, familial relationship between everybody and like kind of over the top, like action moments where like the good guys like managed to like pull out a win that they shouldn't have been able to pull out by like just anime rules in some cases. But it was a really cool series. And like I said, it's 5 books. The last book just came out earlier this month, so I read it a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun.
Very, very actiony and very heisty.
Like kind of like a little bit of both, because like they go back and forth with stuff. Like there are legitimately some heists in it. There are quite a few like major action things. The whole 4th book, the teams are kind of like split up. So like the 3rd book ends with them kind of like having like a big victory, but also like a crushing defeat. Or no, I'm sorry. The 2nd book is when they have the victory. The 3rd book is the defeat. So like they have a major win in the 2nd book, and then they kind of all get separated and bad shit happens in the 3rd one. And then the 4th one is everyone kind of split up for the most part and not getting back together until the end. And then the final book is kind of the just big climax of everything, like them sneaking through heaven to try and take down Gilgamesh, finding out all of the secrets and plots that had kind of like been there the whole time but weren't necessarily apparent. and like allies and enemies and stuff like that showing back up throughout it. Yeah, so it kind of, it ran the gamut of things.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I might enjoy, to be honest.
Yeah,
Even
they're
though
not terribly long books either.
Yeah, like I'm not big into heist movies, but like this kind of thing of bringing down like an empire basically is sounds very interesting, very good.
Yeah, it like I said, it's got like some anime feel to it. And like in good ways. Like there's not like, I mean, it's a book, so like it's not like there's gonna be fan service that much in a book. But like, people get like power ups and they pull out like cool powers and stuff like that. And then like I said, like there's just a lot of good there's a lot of good sentimental moments because you have like a lot of these characters are demons, so they live for hundreds of years or thousands of years, I should say. And so, like the one who she was a queen, she's basically been raised by these two other demons every time she has died over the last thousands of years, and neither of them are her demons, but one of them I think has been with her the whole time, and the other one is actually a demon that she freed from slavery several hundred years prior that has just basically dedicated themselves to her. And like every time she dies, they're the one that like takes her as an infant and like takes care of her and raises her until she can like get back out there and do things.
Nice. Yeah.
And also like the witch stuff is actually kind of cool too, because it's very much like everything he does is like I said, like plant based. But he also got a talking cat because witches need familiars.
Of course.
And like his cat can also like his cat can't like do magic like on his own, but like his cat can help him with spells and stuff like that. So like anytime he needs like an anchor or like a source, like his cat can kind of help him with it, and even do like small like tracking spells and stuff like that. So like there's like a cool little like teamwork just between like the witch and his cat.
Nice.
And his broom is semi-sentient.
Yeah. Cool.
Because yeah.
I mean, a moving broom should be a magic broom should be sentient.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for books that like I said, they're not terribly long. I want to say they're all under 400 pages or like in the 400 range. They read very quickly, and like there's a lot of good lore that kind of got built into them. And I think a lot of that helps. Like I've come to realize like urban fantasy stuff tends to be able to do that a little bit better because you can make some assumptions about the world already. So they don't have to spend a lot of time like explaining the way the world works when it's just our world with some like twists to it. So they can focus on like the lore and why certain things are the way they are.
Yeah.
Whereas like in like a tradition, like in a big fantasy or like a space opera sci-fi, like they kind of have to spend more time extrapolating everything else with like exposition dumps and all that shit. Urban fantasy is just like, no, they're just in fucking Seattle. Like, everyone knows what the fish market in Seattle looks like. That's the setting. Here's why they're here, and here's what all this stuff is doing. But yeah, great series. Nice. I really like this author. I read another one of her series. Unfortunately, like, I will say, like, her books don't have, like, the best titles. Like, the other series I read from her was Heartstrikers, with, like, the first book was Nice Dragons Finish Last. And then this one, like, Tear Down Heaven is the series name. The first book is Hell for Hire, and then like
Hell of a Witch,
Hell
to Ray,
no Wrath,
Hell Hath No Wrath, and then Tear Down Heaven.
Yeah,
the first four have hell in it, and then the last one,
yeah, exactly.
That's. I mean, it's not bad, like, but it is just it's an interesting call.
But like, not the best names or titles, but like very good storytelling.
Oh, she's got one called Minimum Wage Magic.
Yeah, so there's a whole so the not her first series, but I feel like the one that kind of like got her more popular, Heartstrikers, takes place in like, I actually think it's set in mostly modern day, but it's kind of like an alternate history take almost, where 50 years prior or whatever, a meteor struck the earth and essentially brought magic back. Like, magic had been real hundreds of years ago, like King Arthur and Merlin, and like magic back then was real magic that we had just regulated to like fairy tales and stories. But this meteor brought it back, and part of it is the area of Detroit basically gets turned into like a magical like metropolis. So like the Heartstriker books deal with like that area and then like a few other places. But from there, she did like 2 other spin-off books specifically set in like this Detroit area. And yeah, so there's like minimum wage magic, and I think like the other books in that series have like similar-ish names, following like different characters like years and years
Yeah.
after the original
It's
series.
minimum wage magic, part-time gods, and night shift dragons.
There you go. And then I don't know if that's the first sequel series or the second, but it's like the first one is like 20 years after the original, and then like another 10 or 15 years after that is the third one.
I think it's the first because, like, going through her list of books on her website, it goes Heartstrikers, then DFZ, and then it'll be DFZ Changeling, which I guess is the next one.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Gilgamesh is from Mesopotamia, which Drew was correct. It's like Middle Eastern, specifically like what's now known as Iraq.
Okay, cool. There you go.
Yeah, I wanted to look it up. Gilgamesh, this tale of Gilgamesh is like one of, if not the oldest, like legend and mythology out there, something like that.
I mean, he takes over for Odin when fucking Cypher kills him.
What?
Oh, someone's never played fucking Final Fantasy VIII all the way through.
No, I haven't.
So if you go early enough to unlock Odin, where like in order to get Odin, you have to go through the tower and beat it in time.
Yeah, I know this. I forgot. I didn't fully register what you were referencing until after you said Final Fantasy VIII.
Well, for anyone who doesn't know, if you get Odin early enough before a certain fight with one of the main antagonists, he shows up because he's one of those like he shows up randomly and he just one hit KOs your opponent, and like that's the fight. He shows up. And the villain kills him, and then Gilgamesh shows up and takes Odin's sword because Gilgamesh is collecting swords of like powerful beings. And then Gilgamesh becomes your like show up and like kill an enemy in one hit guardian after that.
Yeah, your random encounter guardian basically.
Yeah. Because I think that's
nice.
Drew, you might know this better. Is that the only like scripted fight that one of those characters can show up in?
Probably.
Well, Final Fantasy VIII, Odin was the only one that was a random encounter, or was randomly show up, and that's the only scripted one for him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think he could show up in any other scripted fight, like
that's
fight or whatever.
What I'm saying, I'm sure that's the only. You're right. He probably can't, but that's the only scripted time he shows up.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like there might be a chance he could show up against the Ultimecia fight or something, or not Ultimecia. Who was
Ultimecia?
The other one she's the final boss.
Adia, Adia. I think it's how you say the other one.
Yeah, whatever her name is. I'm sure there might be a chance. I don't know.
I feel like it's been forever since I've played 8. I have the PC version or like some Steam version from a while ago, but it really does not like working with like any of the controllers I have. So it's been a mess to try to play. I want to say Odin and Gilgamesh can pop out in boss fights, but it's not an insta kill.
Oh, okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
I don't remember.
Well, I've got nothing else about Tear Down Heaven. So, Rich, if you'd like to talk about Project Hail Mary.
Yeah. Real quick, according to Gemini, Odin can't show up in a boss fight.
Okay.
But that's according to Gemini, and I don't have time to like really dig into it. My Google search terms were, can Odin show up against a boss in Final Fantasy VIII? So, who knows? But according to Gemini, no. So I saw Project Hail Mary this weekend. I did not know I was going to cry that much about a fucking rock. Like, that movie was incredible. That story was so good. The way they presented it, like, my dad said he, like, kind of figured it out at one point, like, before they revealed it. And, like, I didn't really figure it out until, like, just as they were revealing it kind of thing. Like, I had a hint, but, like, I still, like, didn't fully figure it out. But overall, like, the visuals for the movie, the story, the storytelling, the like, set design, everything for the movie was just incredible.
When you say you didn't figure it out to the end, what didn't you figure out?
That, he was forced against his will to go on to the...
Oh, okay.
...thing. Yeah, so I don't know how the book does it.
No,
like the movie, but it does past and present throughout, and it starts with him waking up on the ship not remembering how he got there. And it takes him a few days, and then as the movie goes on, like, he starts to remember who he was, why he's there, what's going on, and then it's not until the very end when he remembers that, like, oh, he wasn't originally supposed to go on the mission.
I think I just lost you for a second there. I don't know, Drew, did you hear him?
I heard him.
Oh, maybe my headphones are dying.
Maybe. But yeah, so, like, my dad was like, yeah, it was at one point, like, when I thought about it, it was like halfway through, he was like, he couldn't remember, oh, they forced him to do this or something like that. And I was talking to my dad because I saw it with my parents, and it was a very good story. It was funny when it needed to be. It was like serious when it needed to be. It is like 2.5 hours, which, when halfway through the movie you have to pee and you don't realize you're only halfway through the movie, and you sit there thinking, oh, the movie's gonna end soon, let me just keep watching. It does make the movie feel like it's longer than it was, which was my issue. But overall, like, it's not a bad watch. It doesn't feel like it takes too long. And it's just, it's such a, like, it's an interesting story that they told, like, about this guy who basically has nothing and then still isn't willing to sacrifice himself, which I understand, isn't willing to sacrifice himself and is forced into a position, and then in the process of having nothing, finding something. And it was really good, and I can't talk highly enough about it. And I loved it. I nearly cried a few times. There's, like, both at happy moments and then at, like, sad moments. Like, Cobb, you read it, so it's obviously, we already talked a little bit of spoilers.
Apparently, the ending of the movie is different.
So yeah, we'll get into it at this point. If you like, you've read it, so you know a lot of what happens. But it's potential further spoilers for anybody who has not seen Project Hail Mary or read it. But how did the book end for you?
I forget. Does he call the alien Rocky? Or am I making that up?
Yes, he calls the alien Rocky, and the alien's mate is Adrian.
So, there's no mate in the book.
Okay. Well, the alien talks about having a mate back at home, and the word for the mate's name is too long, so they call her Adrian.
Okay, I don't remember that happening in the book, but it may have. I read it like over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
But so in the book, they think they fixed the ship, and he goes flying away, and then he's looking at the port and realizing that Rocky's ship is not moving, and he turns around, goes back, and it's basically a one-way. He can only go that direction to get him. He can't turn around and make it back to Earth. So he goes to Rocky's planet with him and basically lives out his life there.
Yeah, I mean, that's
a specially created, like, dome, because Rocky's planet has, like, higher gravity or something.
That's for the most part how it ended. So
okay,
it was
interesting.
It was slightly different. So what happens in this is, so at the end of the movie, like, the whole point of the book and movie and the story is, Earth's sun is dying, and it turns out all the suns are dying except for one.
So that's different then too.
Is it?
So it's not that the sun is dying; it's that there is some sort of particle siphoning off the heat.
Yeah,
like there's something murdering the sun. It's not just dying.
Something's eating the energy from the sun. And somebody had discovered a thing, I can't remember their name, but it's like a line that they saw from Earth to Venus. And they go and investigate that, and it comes back, and it ends up being like microorganisms that are eating the sun and slowly cooling the sun. And over the course of the next 30 years, half the population of the Earth could die from this. And if not more, like, as time goes on, the sun is going to get cooler and cooler, which is going to drop the temperature of the Earth. So they come up with a plan to to TLDR it. They come up with a plan to send people out with Project Hail Mary. It's a one-way travel to go and figure out why this one son isn't dying, but all of the rest of them are. The Grace, the main character, gets forced to go onto this mission. They go and they go and he eventually meets this character named Rocky, this alien named Rocky, which is a rock-based life form, whose atmosphere is like basically the complete opposite of ours. They're like our atmosphere would kill them, their atmosphere would kill us, and it would just be terrible. Like, it was very hot and like ammonia based and stuff like that. At one point, like, they made the little joke of, he was like, "Oh, everything's opposite, and Rocky had given Grace something to open, and he was trying to open it. Everything's opposite. Oh, righty loosey, lefty tighty, and does the opposite. Like, because for us it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. He does the opposite and is able to open the thing. And they're like, they start to like figure out a way to communicate with each other and talk with each other. Grace creates a program and starts like interpreting what Rocky is saying and putting it into this computer program, so that basically Rocky had talk to text, or text to talk, text speech, and they work together to save their planets, and go to this sun that's not dying, and eventually they find out that there is a microorganism that is eating the microorganisms that are eating off the sun. So the reason that our sun is dying and all the rest of the suns are dying is because the microorganisms, astrophage is what they called it, are breeding on Venus and then going to the sun, and there's too many going back to the sun. And that's what's causing the issue as to why it's not able, where it's dying, is because there's too many of these microorganisms going to the sun from Venus, because they keep breeding there. Whereas this one planet, not too many are going because some are being eaten, and so it's like a sustaining life cycle. So at the time they go to gather these microorganisms from this planet, and like all hell breaks loose, and the rock is living in its own ecosystem within Grace's ship that he was able to build, and their life forms are very engineer based and can build like pretty much anything. It was really cool. And at one point, like, they're trying to leave the orbit of the planet, and all hell breaks loose in the ship. They weren't able to, and Rocky breaks through his ecosystem, and he almost dies, and I start to cry, and then they're able to save him. And then they were able to breed these organisms that eat the astrophage, so that they would survive on the on the atmospheres of Venus and the planet that's connected to Rocky's sun. And so they divide it up, and they divide it in special containers that Rocky was able to create, and they go their separate ways because Rocky was able to give Grace some astrophage to be able to travel. Rocky was like, "I'm 150 years old, and this will add 5 years of travel if I give you enough to get home. So I'm absolutely fine. Like, I live forever. Don't worry about it. You can go." And Rocky is the only one left on his ship. Grace is the only one left on their ship. So they go their separate ways, and then halfway through the trip, something happens, and something gets loose, and it turns out that the organism that was eating the astrophage also evolved to be able to eat through the container that they used, which the container that they used is what all of Rocky's ship is made out of. So Grace then has to decide, do I go home or do I go help Rocky, because I only have enough fuel for one trip? And so that's when he sends everything back to Earth. And so I guess that may be a little bit of where it deviates, whereas instead of it being like Rocky's ship's not moving, it's he has to then travel 60 days to get to Rocky's ship, hope that Rocky's still alive, and if he is, rescue Rocky, and then they make it to Rocky's home, and then, yeah, they make a whole ecosystem for Grace to live, and he becomes a school teacher teaching the child rock people, and it's adorable. And it was an incredible movie. And I highly suggest that like a lot of people watch it. It was so good. Such a good story. Jake Gyllenhaal did great. Or no.
Try that again.
Ryan Gosling did great. I always get them mixed up. I'm not gonna apologize. I just always get them mixed up. Ryan Gosling did great. And then it was just like it's basically just the two of them. There's a little bit of an additional cast. The story as to why he gets forced to go onto this mission is like it's sad. Like it sucks what happens because like as his time on Earth starts to end, he starts to feel like he has something there. And at one point somebody tells him says, what was it? Bravery, you have to be brave for someone or something like that. And like he didn't have anyone to be brave for, which is why he wasn't brave enough to leave. And it's actually really interesting to watch the movie because at the end when they receive Grace's information, the Earth is starting to ice over a little bit. Like it's snowing because it had been the whole trip there and back was about 10 years. I think.
In the book, it wasn't in our immediate solar system or whatever either. Like he tried to travel outside of our.
Well, yeah, he had to travel outside of our solar system. He had to travel about 8 years in an induced coma to get to the solar system, that the planet that had the microorganisms that was eating the astrophage. Did
the movie have the ship AI thing too?
Yeah. What did he call the AI? I can't remember, but it wasn't like a major character. It was like more of a side character.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first thing that he has interactions with before Rocky shows up.
Yeah, and then there was one of the robots on the ship. He called it like fingers or something because it was like a couple of fingers. But yeah, it was a really, really good movie. Really, really fun. Really serious at times. I wish I wasn't at the theaters when I saw it or I wish I just didn't drink too much of my soda and have to pee halfway through because that was the problem. And my dad got up at one point to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, man, it was like there was gonna take a couple of months or a couple of days for them to get to the planet that they were going to. So it was like, okay, maybe this would be a good time to go to the bathroom. And it was a really good time. But I was right outside the bathroom. I should have just gone, but I didn't want to miss a thing. I just didn't want to miss anything. So yeah, I at one point, as soon as the movie was over, I looked at him. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll see you guys out there. And I just ran out. I was like, I thought this movie was going to be over 45 minutes ago. It wasn't, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out when it hits streaming.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Honestly, I think you might enjoy it too, Drew. It's it's not campy or anything like that. It, like I said, the thought of how it wasn't really supposed to be a super mystery of why he was on this trip, but they don't tell you until the end that he was kind of forced there. I do wish they leaned into explaining what happened to his crew, to the other two humans on the ship. They were just dead when he woke up, and there was nothing they didn't say how they died or anything like that. Besides the fact that they were in a medically induced coma for 8 years or some shit. So it's just they died because they were in a coma for that long. But yeah, it's really good, and it makes you just it makes you sad, but it also makes you happy.
Yeah, I'm glad they did a good job with the movie. You're not the first person I've seen say it was it was well done.
I saw somebody say the book is a 10 out of 10 and the movie's a 9 out of 10, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Or I'm sure they're I can't think of anything I would have changed. But I seldom like to say that something is perfect, so I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 either. But I probably wouldn't give the book a 10 out of 10 either, because I don't often like to say that something that media is perfect, because there is something that I'm sure I could nitpick and find something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's probably a show, though.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us here with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our Blue Sky is at one-quest.com. You can also send us emails to social@one-quest.com. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. Now, Rich, what does your streaming look like?
Twitch.tv/b_walnuts for video game streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I don't really have anything too special to promote, except this Friday the 27th is a charity stream that we are playing for Starlight Children's Foundation, which they provide gowns and games and things like that for kids and children's hospitals and undergoing surgeries and things like that. Fun stuff for kids who tend to spend a lot of time in the hospital. So come join me and a bunch of streamers playing some Mario Kart and trying to raise funds. Every $10 that gets donated to the group charity fund, I will put a googly eye on my face. I'm going to make sure my head is fully shaved in case there's enough googly eyes that have to go on my head. And for every $100 that we gain, I will add one of the Spyro games, Spyro 1, 2, and 3, into the list of games on my backlog to play.
Nice.
Spyro's a kid. We're raising money for kids. It just makes sense, right?
Spyro's a dragon.
He is a adolescent dragon. He is a child dragon.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He's still a child.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.
Bye.